Hey, welcome to the Drum and Stone podcast. A podcast where two friends raise a glass and have a conversation. I'm Nick.
And I'm Kyle.
Kyle.
Nick.
Guess where we find ourselves?
We are still out in the woods. 1 week later.
Yeah, our wives are actually starting to worry, I guess.
Yeah, I wonder if this point is like, is there like CNN coverage of like where are Drip and Stone? We can't find them.
Right. I bet you there are milk bottles, cartons.
Yeah. How do they sell
gallons?
milk these days?
Right, with our faces on them.
Sure.
I mean, I know there's a bunch of breweries all over this fine country with our faces on them.
Totally.
So
not wrong there.
Kyle, it's kind of a little damp out here. I mean, it's not.
Sure.
It's not like raining or anything.
The sun is far gone.
Correct.
It is
dark.
It is dark.
It's very dark. Anyway, I'm kind of thirsty. You thirsty?
Always.
What do you want to drink?
I don't know. Maybe something new. Maybe something
from Belgium.
Sure.
You're in luck, buddy. Because guess what? We trekked out here.
What do we trek out here?
Well,
yes. New Belgium.
Correct.
Yes.
This is part of their rotating IPA series, and it's a version of the Voodoo Ranger.
Yes.
And this is the Future Hop.
Future Hop, yeah. Huge fan of the Voodoo Ranger. I think I've had everything that they've put out in this little series, but I have not had the Future Hop.
Well, guess what?
What?
We're about to have it. I know. So actually, I went to, as we talked about last week, Asheville, and there's a new Belgian brewery right on the river in Asheville.
Incredible.
Yeah, and it's actually a really nice spot. They're doing some work there, adding some more seating, but man, there's a really nice like lawn area with some Adirondack chairs. Man,
Sure.
Get you a beer, walk out there. This was on tap, but I chose not to have it.
Things that stay fresh for Drip and Stone.
Correct. That and there's some things that you can only get at the brewery. So I was like, I need that.
Yeah, I want that experience.
Yeah. So I got some box words for you. You ready?
Hit 'em.
The future of IPAs is here with a bionic blend of Lotus and Strata hops and tropical notes that will teleport your taste buds to the next dimension.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it's not a different hop. It's Strata and
it's
Citra?
Lotus and Strata.
Lotus and Strata.
Yeah. Hops.
These are two hard to find hops. Like, I mean, they're pretty normalized at this point, aren't they?
I think so. I honestly haven't heard of Lotus. I've heard of Strata before.
To be honest, I haven't either.
Yeah.
So maybe that's it.
Maybe.
Discovered a new
It's
hop
possible.
strain.
It's possible.
All right.
So this is an Imperial IPA.
Oh, no joke.
Yeah. It weighs in at a whopping 8%.
Yeah. I saw that part when I bought them, but I didn't see the Imperial part.
Well, it's got some really cool
8%.
Really cool can art, really cool box art. I like it.
Yeah, again, like I've liked pretty much everything that I've seen coming out of this like Voodoo Ranger series. I really appreciate the little Nintendo pad on the glove there.
That's cool.
That's pretty sweet.
That's cool.
Cool. I was trying to think. There used to be a glove for the Nintendo.
Really?
Yeah,
Interesting.
like the Power Glove or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
You know,
Right.
never had it. Had the Power Pad.
Fancy.
You didn't have the Power
I
Pad?
didn't have the power pad.
Oh man, do track and field.
Didn't have the power pad.
Yeah,
Didn't
good
work,
times.
Didn't work well. I don't even think. Could you play it without the power pad?
Track and field?
Yeah.
Probably not.
I don't think so.
Probably had to have the Power Pad.
Probably.
There were two games. There was that one, and we had like some sort of like, it was like a hamburger builder thing. It was weird.
Okay. I believe you.
Classic. I remember building those hamburgers.
Well, it's like really the only thing you could play with the duck hunting guns was duck hunt.
Duck Hunt.
Right.
Blew my mind. That, like, how did you not have like a whole series of games?
Yeah. You could have done something really cool with like laser
Some
blasters.
Western?
Laser blasters and Star Wars. You could have made it
Hell yeah.
real cool. Anyway, you want to get into
vote
it?
on that? Yeah, let's do it. Wait. All right. 3, 2.
Oh, hold on. Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah. That's good.
All right. Raise a can.
Yeah.
Have a conversation.
Sure. I'm not pouring into a glass.
Nope.
I do kind of want to know what it looks like, though. It's in the can. We can't see that.
Yeah. What clear vessel do we have?
We don't have any clue.
Look.
I bet you it looks like beer.
Pour it in. I'm going to guess it's light. No haze at all.
No. We're drinking out of cans, though, so
Okay.
honestly, we can't really see it anyway.
But yeah, no. Take our word for it.
We got a nose.
Definitely IPA.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely got an IPA nose, but like I don't like just out of the can. I might be as bold to say that there's a slight dank.
There is a slight, but it's
Subtle.
real subtle.
Yeah,
Subtle.
it's just barely there, but like it's not leaning sweet or anything.
Nope.
Just a little dank.
Subtle dank, but there's a little bit of ABV on the nose.
Oh yeah, that pokes through.
Yeah. Oh, did you go in?
No, I was just I'd spilled some, so it was just
all over me,
clearing off the top.
Right. All right, I'm going in.
Okay.
Ooh.
I'll be honest. It's a pretty good IPA.
Yeah, it really is.
It's not aggressive.
It's got a nice sweet palate.
Yeah.
But there's a decent bitter in there that prevents it from being like, oh, that's too much.
Well, it's a bitter that you anticipate is going to grow and be like kind of overwhelming, and just never does. It just kind of stays just kind of, undertone the whole time. Doesn't ever really like poke through too much.
Do you get some of the more hoppy notes and characteristics, or is it just kind of like balance out for you?
It's pretty balanced for me.
I was going to say the same. And that I framed the question that way because it is pretty balanced. Like I don't feel like I'm not getting a hop punch that I feel a lot of IPAs deliver.
Sure.
And I usually like that, but here it's just well balanced.
Yeah. I mean, for this to be an Imperial IPA and for none of the flavors to really jump that much is really surprising.
I agree. And it does not feel like 8%.
No, it doesn't. I think if you told me that this was a session IPA, I would totally believe you until about that second can.
Wait, you're on your ass.
And I would disagree with you.
Well, okay. Yes, you do get some really nice ABV about the third sip, though. And it's kind of on the back end. It's not something that, like, thinking back to like the guilty pleasures where like it right away. Like,
sure.
This is high ABV. Here, it's there, but it only sneaks in about the third sip, and it's just like a whiff.
Sure.
It's like, hey, I'm still here.
Right. I think it's that sweet note that kind of tilts its hat that way. Like most of the time, like anytime I can think of having like one of those like low-cal IPAs or the session IPAs, like those tend to almost lean more sour. It's the sweetness in this that kind of makes you think, yeah, no, this might have a little kick to it.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think it is that sweet that does give it away as well. You got the really nice even keel balance, that bitter slightly there on the end. But then you've got like this just even keel sweetness that's through that I think you're right, does tip its hat a little bit higher.
Yeah, just a suggestion.
Yeah. This is solid, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's easy drinking. This might be like that one of those like, kind of IPA introductory points for like a lot of like blue can drinkers. And it's in a blue can.
It is in a blue can.
Ironically enough.
And it's like I said, I agree because it doesn't punch you in the face with IPA.
Yeah, it's pretty friendly.
Like you're not punched in the face with hops. It's enough sweet. There's some flavor here. It's delightful.
Yeah. And, can open up that field to you.
Yeah. I mean, your blue can drinker is going to drink about 2 and be done.
Woo!
So, you know what? Being that we're out here, too, in the wilds of Florida, I feel like this is a perfect beer to accompany this.
Sure.
I mean, you hear that?
Why do you feel that?
Well, listen. You don't hear nothing. Well, there's some
couple of crickets.
Right. But then you like take a little sippy sip.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, it accompanies this because it's not like heavy like a stout. Or like, you think of like, oh man, we're going to go cramping. It's going to be cold. Let's get a stout.
Right.
But like,
keep warm.
Right. But I never feel that way with a stout.
No, I just feel
bloated. I feel bloated and heavy and kind of gross. With this, it's got enough of a little bit of a proof kick where you're going to be happy.
Right.
And it's easy drinking and it's cold and wet.
Happy, joy.
Agreed. Now that we have a drink, Kyle.
Indeed.
What are we talking about this week?
I had this idea. I like to bring up the sayings, the verbiage occasionally. There's a pretty common one that kind of made me think because I feel like I get attributed this adage often enough. And that is the old adage of the jack of all trades, but master of none.
Ooh.
And it made me think of like, would you prefer to be a jack of all trades?
Right.
Somebody that can be, let's say, a Renaissance man. Or would you prefer to be a master at one thing?
Man. Okay.
And, I say that I kind of get given that moniker because more or less just kind of like, give me a few minutes with a thing and I'll be pretty good at it.
Right.
Like I'm pretty good at a lot of things, but I'm not great at anything.
Right.
Kind of a thing. And
it's a
useful thing.
Just kind of mediocre at a lot of stuff. I get it.
Yeah. Sure. Well, say I think it's better than mediocre. Like you're pretty good. You're pretty good at a lot of things, but you're just not the master of anything.
I got you.
You know, it's like it makes me think a lot of Aquafina's character in Shang-Chi.
Okay.
Of like you do a thing for a little bit and then you just move on to the next thing.
Right.
You know, and then you become a master archer.
Sure. Wait, what? That's not how that works. That's not how the real world.
By the end of the movie.
Right.
2.5 hours later.
Right. Sure. Okay, so can we break it down a little bit?
Yeah.
The jack of all trades. Let's start there.
Okay.
So like this idea, this Renaissance man idea, I think is rooted in like, at least in our culture has kind of like tried to aspire to. You want to be well versed in as many things as possible.
Sure.
And I don't know if it stems from this kind of like agrarian idea of like, you know, I don't know, helping around the farm or, you know, building things for your family, but like you're good at a bunch of different things simply out of necessity because you kind of had to be.
Right.
Or at least, you know, proficient. I don't know about good necessarily, but maybe proficient.
Yeah. I look at the jack of all trades. It's not necessarily as like, you know, trade meaning like your profession really.
Right.
It's more or less just like, oh yeah, like, you know, give me a few minutes and I can do that thing pretty well.
Sure.
Sit me down at the piano and give me a few minutes and I can play a tune for you.
Right.
Kind of thing. Not necessarily like give me a few minutes and I'm a really good accountant.
Right.
You know, it's not like a profession kind of a thing. It's more or less just kind of like general hobbies.
I can dabble in a lot of things.
Right.
And I can be okay or maybe even good at a lot of things.
Right. Yeah. Be better than average. I'm not, you know, to the level of like profession with it.
So I think that then the other part of the adage, master of none, is obviously like the way it's phrased is that to be that jack of all trades means you cannot be a master in anything.
Right.
Because you're trying to do too much. The jack of all trades kind of Renaissance man idea has almost been placed on a higher pedestal than the master of one thing. And what I mean by that is like, I think of like this man, I watched a documentary of this Japanese dude making swords. And like, this is the thing he does. He is a master swords maker. And he makes these like beautiful swords out of like, you know, this really ornate kind of metal. And they're supposed to be like the sharpest swords and blah, blah, blah. But like the dude, this is what he does.
His whole life.
Right. He's literally like, he's 70 something years old and he's done this since he was like 8. The dude's a master at this. I think of like sushi chefs, like real sushi chefs in Japan train for years just how to make rice properly. And like, you become a master at that thing. Whereas here in America, we tend to do the, what do you like? What are you good at? Like your hobbies. Can you know, how many things are you good at? Like we tend to pride ourselves on that. Like, you know, I'm not a great skier, but I know how to ski.
Pretty good at it.
Right. I'm not a great guitar player, but I can play a tune.
Right.
You know, and we don't really sit down and devote ourselves to that. I find both sides of merit and both incredibly interesting when you think about how that's phrased.
Yeah, totally. No, I don't disagree at all. Like, I mean, I think the phrase in and of itself is just an interesting idea where I feel like at a different time in my life, the jack of all trades was kind of like the ideal.
Right.
Like you're pretty good at everything, you know, and that seems like a great thing. Until you add in that second part, but master of none. And then it's like, oh, maybe that's not so great. Maybe there should be a focal point. Maybe you should like kind of like take one thing and see how far can you take that? Can you take that to mastery level?
Right.
You know, do you have the willpower to master that thing?
That's where I was just going to go.
And I think that's, you know, yeah, I think that's where you're going with like the whole like cultural side of it, of like, you know, with leisure and the ability to try so many different things, it's almost a negative because you can never master that because you don't have you have the negative of free time and ability to do other things.
Right. Well, I think it's that we also, because we pride ourselves as the jack of all trades, at least in our culture, then like when someone or when we have that inkling of, well, I could be the master at this thing, then we have that deep sense of guilt and loss of, but then I can't do all these other things.
All the things I didn't get to experience.
Right. Like if I become a master chef, well, then that means I'm never going to be able to be on a skateboard again. But I really like skateboarding. And I think that that's just our hang up. That doesn't mean that, you can be a master chef and you just happen to like skateboarding. And you might skateboard every once in a while, but you are like, this is what you train for. This is what you do. Maybe this is what you're known for. And I think that like when you think about it that way, maybe it's rooted in that kind of guilt and sense of loss that I mentioned of, I want the opportunity to do all these other things.
Right.
Versus like, no, this is the thing that I'm good at. So then to me, it kind of becomes like, which is actually better?
I think that perspective, or at least for me anyway, it's always shifting one way or the other, unfortunately. And that's probably the problem. It totally does present that self of like, no, like take that one thing and just dive into it and do it and see how far you can go at it. You're already pretty good at that thing. How far can you take it? But it's like at the sacrifice of, but I like all those other things too. And I'm not willing to give those up either.
See, I think this is what we actually value in our celebrities, heroes. I'm not thinking like, not necessarily like movie star celebrities. I'm thinking more of like sports celebrities or like astronauts and adventurers and writers and people like that, like those kinds of creatives. Whereas like America tends to value like the movie star celebrity over, the advancement in science celebrity or, sometimes even the sports celebrity.
Right.
But what I mean by that is like early on, Tony Hawk realized, hey, I might be pretty good at this skateboarding thing. I should really focus on this thing.
Sure.
And I don't know if that was a conscious decision or not.
Well, I think that falls into the realm of like prodigy. I think if you display a ridiculous skill for any given thing at a young age, then it's kind of like, oh, you could be really great at this. We're going to push that really hard.
Right.
Like I think that's like Tiger Woods.
Absolutely.
I think that's probably the vast majority of like musicians to some extent.
Exactly.
That they discovered this like crazy talent at such a young age. And then it was just like, well, you enjoy doing this thing also?
Do
it as much as you can.
That's what I was going to say. Like, it's that right kind of mentality of you're both good at this and you enjoy it. Okay, let's dive into this. And I think most people don't have the intersect of both. Most people aren't prodigies at this thing. Most people just have I'm okay at this. I want to become better. But then they don't have the mental, you said mental fortitude. They don't have the mental fortitude to like dive into it.
Sure.
To really get good.
But I think I'm giving the word prodigy a much higher level.
Okay.
I'm not saying like your average person that is like, you ice skate really well.
Yeah.
So we're going to like make you take lessons constantly so that you can go win a gold medal in ice skating.
Sure.
Like, I'm sure that happens. When I'm talking about the prodigy level of that, it's like phenomenal. Like, how the hell did you do that at 4 years old, never taken a lesson, and you can do that?
I agree. But what I'm saying is like, that's what we admire in those people. Like, we can recognize the prodigy aspect. Absolutely. But we admire the figure skater because like you displayed this talent at a very young age. Let's now develop that talent. But then, when that person's 16, 20, whatever, then we say like, whoa, you focused on this and look how good you are. Whereas most people never get chance,
get the identification of
never
that
get the
thing.
identification, never get the chance, never are.
Or it's just not there.
Or it's just not there. You're right.
That's what
But I'm thinking about like, again, all of these people that we admire are generally masters at their thing, at the thing that they do. I mean,
sure.
Okay. So I'm thinking about like a great actor, Daniel Day-Lewis, a great actor.
Sure.
Like clearly has developed that ability to act through focusing on acting. Where, that's what we pride that person for.
But the interesting thing about that specific topic is I don't think we ever, like, I mean, obviously there are child stars and you have like your Elijah Woods.
Sure.
You have some of those people that start super young and are able to continue the success, but very rarely is the child prodigy actor a success later on. Like, I don't think, I could be completely wrong, but I bet Daniel Day-Lewis was not a child actor. It was something that was developed and created through passion.
And that's what I'm saying. He became the master at that thing, or a master at that thing, because of that passion, because of that willingness to dive deep and devote himself to that.
Right.
I'm just using that as an example. So I think
we're probably totally wrong. He probably like was acting.
Maybe. Yeah, sure. Probably.
Shit,
but like, I don't think he's not like, he wasn't like the child prodigy like Elijah Wood or Daniel Radcliffe or Macaulay Culkin. But like, it's that idea of, we pride that person or we look up to that person because they've devoted themselves to that.
Right.
They've devoted themselves to this thing. They become the master at it.
Right.
Whereas most people do not have the mental fortitude to do that.
Sure.
Maybe that's also where we get the jack of all trades, because it's kind of easier.
Totally.
I mean, ultimately, that's really what it is.
You know, it's again, it goes into that, the luxury of leisure.
Absolutely.
You can try a bunch of different things, and you happen to be pretty good at anything you try.
Right.
And so it just encourages that.
Sure.
You know, it encourages you to keep just trying other things and keep doing other things.
Right. I think to me, and like golf, I like golf. I like playing golf. I like, hanging out. I like doing that.
Fun activity.
It's a fun activity. I will never be a good golfer unless I feel like if I sat there and I worked on it and I worked on it and I worked on it, I don't want to do that.
Sure.
Like I'll, you and I have gone to the driving range. We've kind of like talked about it. I feel I have gotten better, but not because I've sat there and worked at it, but because part of it's exposure, part of it's dumb luck, part of it's watching crap on YouTube. But like, I don't want to be a master at golf. You know what I mean? Like I have no desire to do that.
Sure.
But then I think of like, I want to be a good writer. I think I'm an okay writer right now. I also currently don't write as much as I'd like to.
Right.
And I know I need to write. If I want to be a good writer, I have to write.
Right.
I have to practice that. But that's also a lot of work. So, you kind of like, that's what I'm saying. Like you convince yourself of like,
you got to give up a lot of that binging Netflix time.
Exactly. Well,
it's hard to do.
I don't think there is a better, it's just like your perspective on what do you want to do.
I think personally, not that it's better one way or the other, but I feel like I have more appreciation for the master.
Yes, that's a perfect point.
Because I know that what that really takes, I don't care if it is something that you were a prodigy at.
Right.
It still takes a lot of time, a lot of sacrifice, and a lot of devotion to really master whatever that is. Yeah. And especially when it's something that's not seen as like a celebrity type thing, like not an athlete or something like that. Like kudos, even if you did it as an athlete, even if you are getting paid millions to do it. But like, like the one that pokes in my head is like this dude that made pasta. I think it was on a Bourdain episode that it's a dude that makes like these Chinese noodles.
Oh yeah, with the bamboo
thing that he's bouncing on it.
Yeah.
It's like ended up like deforming his like pelvis in a way, like that you're that devoted is incredible.
Right.
And or again, like it's probably a situation where it's like you had to do it.
Yeah.
I didn't have time for leisure.
Right.
I needed to make noodles to feed my family and whatever.
Right. Or like I think too, like master woodworkers, people who can make like a beautiful chair that has no nails, has no glue, and it's like immaculate.
Right.
And like these are skills that humans have known for a long time.
Sure.
But have kind of fallen out of by the wayside because glue is easier, nails and screws are easier. But like someone who can do that is amazing. And like you've become the master at that thing, and no one's gonna give you gratitude on like the celebrity level.
Correct.
Like there are people who appreciate woodworking and love that, but for the most part it's like, whoa, that's a beautiful chair. Like cool.
Totally.
And it's functional. Cool. But like to get to that master level of doing that, takes
anything.
Right. That takes a lot of time.
My absolute favorite TikTok trend is and you probably don't know what I'm talking about, so I'm going to completely explain it to you.
Okay.
But it's always accompanied by this song. And it's this really lovely little melody with maybe like a 2-part harmony. And the song, the lyrics are, "It costs so much because it takes me fucking hours."
Those are the lyrics?
Those are the lyrics. Okay. It's this beautiful little, like, snappy little song. "It costs so much because it takes me fucking hours." Fucking hours. The video is always of the person doing whatever it is that they do.
Right.
And trying to explain, like, this costs a crap ton of money because it takes me so much time to make it. Like, I understand that you would like to pay $10 for this amazing thing that I've made, but I can't do that because it takes me so long to make it. I have to charge more for it. And I think it's so like on point, and like it's something that as a society, people are usually like so willing to drop money on things that either we've just become accustomed to paying more for, that when you actually come across a thing that is handmade and made by a skilled craftsman, that we've lost the appreciation for that thing and don't understand why where the value is.
Right. Here's an example. Coincidentally, when we were at New Belgium in Asheville, we're sitting on those Adirondack chairs I mentioned. Carol and I are both like, wow, these are awesome chairs. Like, they were super sturdy. They were just beautiful chairs.
Sure.
On 3, 1, 2, 3. Looked them up like, oh, these are expensive. And I'm like, but it's totally worth it.
Yeah.
Like, look at how beautiful this chair is. Look at how well this chair is made. Sure, I could go down to, Walmart or whatever and buy a $10 plastic Adirondack that's going to last maybe 2 sits
before it falls apart.
Correct. Yeah. Or I could spend money on this particular chair and I could, 2 of them's going to set me back maybe $500.
Well, probably last forever.
Especially if it's well taken care of.
Right.
Absolutely. Which is better? It's the handmade chair.
For sure.
Made by that master.
Absolutely. Bastard?
Master. Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Absolutely agree.
But again, am I someone who's going to get to that point? I can't foresee myself doing that right now.
Sure. But it is kind of a thing of like, at this point in the current multiverse,
right?
I am not in the correct spot to master the thing.
Sure.
Maybe in a few years.
And that's what I was going to say. Like, right now, I'm not going to say never. Right. Because like, I think that, plenty of people get to a point after the kids leave the house or, whatever, something happens, like they'll get to a point where, nope, I love this thing. This is what I'm going to do. This is my hobby. And they become really good at it. They become a master.
Yep.
Yeah. Or a bastard.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Bastard of all trades.
Bastard of none trades.
Can I tell you like another, like, it's a bit of a guilty pleasure, but it's like master at work. Any TikTok video, God, I'm leaning hard into TikTok, but
that's okay.
Any.
Well, speaking of TikTok, you can follow us on TikTok. That's at Drep and Stone.
Yeah, DREP and Stone, one word. Find us, look us, we'll like you back.
Yeah.
Anything that is like a mastery kind of a thing where people are like showing their craft is absolutely, I love it. Like that's why I love social media, is to be able to see that stuff. But what I've really gotten into recently, and what if I see one, like I'm all in and I'm watching the whole video, are these people who are like, I forget what it's called now. What is it when is it shawing a hoof?
Oh yeah,
is that what it's called?
Farriers that like I forget the term, but yeah.
Like they're not shoeing. They're not putting shoes on, but they're just like cleaning the hooves of like cattle or horses or whatever it is.
Dude, have you seen his videos?
I'm sure I have, because I've seen them all.
They're great.
I love them.
The ones that he's posted lately are like big rockin' bull's hoof.
Yeah. Or like, like, hey, can you believe this got stuck there? And or look at this. Like, I love it. I'm all in, because like you're watching somebody do a trade that one is kind of like almost like lost in time.
Sure.
That's not in everyday life anymore. But you're watching like this thing and like, man, I'm just like hypnotized. Like, I love that stuff.
I'm the same. Like I'll watch for a time I watch these people tune pianos, and like,
oh yeah,
I can tickle the keys a little.
No kidding.
Yeah. Again, jack of all trades.
Tickling the ivory.
These aren't ivory.
Oh, they're plastic.
but like, I'm watching
tickling the plastic.
I'm watching someone. I'm watching someone like, tune a piano, something I don't know how to do, but someone who knows how to do that kind of thing.
Right. When you can see the mastery,
is awesome.
It's like magic.
It really truly is. Yeah, it really truly is.
Yeah, watching that stuff, and like it's so cool to see like the kind of the end product. I was watching one yesterday where it's, big issue on one side of the hoof, and like he's cleaning it all the way down, and then they have to put a pad on one side to balance it out. But like the cow like just totally puts all weight on it, and he's like, that gives me an endorphin rush.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm like, me too. I don't even know that cow. It's not my cow, but dude, it totally gives me one too.
Yeah, the cow.
That's fantastic. That cow's happy.
Around, yeah, went from hobbling around to walking
to like cool. Totally standing on it. That's amazing. Good on you, man.
So cool. You got anything else?
No.
This is our first episode of 2022.
Kaboom.
I know. We made it, man.
Who knew?
I did.
Yeah, you said it.
Right. And we'll make it to next year, too.
Yeah, 2025. Here we come.
That's not next year, but yeah, we'll do it.
I'm just saying, in the future.
Sure.
We'll still be doing this.
Sure.
Do you have anything else?
I don't. No, I don't.
I didn't think you did.
Well, we want to know what you think about the adage, jack of all trades, master of none. Does it hold true for you?
Or do you look more into that mastery? Are you trying to master a skill right now? What are you trying to master?
If you consider yourself a master, like how did you get to that point? I think that's super interesting. Like, what did you do? How did you hyper focus on something? Like, how did you do that?
Yeah.
And if you've had a chance to try the Future Hop by New Belgium, let us know what you think about it. I quite like it.
I like the retro look. Kind of feels, Star Warsy.
Yeah. And
actually, no, it feels more Ready Player One.
I was going to say Ready Player One. I literally, when you said Star Warsy and I said yes, I was like, wait, no, I disagree with that.
It's more Ready Player One /
Thug Life.
Tron.
Oh, Tron, right.
Yeah, kind of Tron-y.
You can get in touch with us through email at drepandstone@gmail.com. You can also get in touch with us through social media.
It's always one word, Drep and Stone, DREP and Stone. Come find us, like us, share a video.
Tick a talk.
Tick a talk and talk a tick. Face a gram and gram a book.
Right. I don't know why that got me. That got me for some reason. And if you want to help support the podcast, you can be like our friend Brandon and buy us a couple pints on our Buy Me a Coffee page. It's buymeacoffee.com/drepandstone. Keeps the recording machines working and the lights on.
Yeah, we're drinking those pints right now.
And you can rate us wherever it is that you find great podcasts like this one. Stars, thumbs,
comments,
likes, do it all.
Yeah.
And literally just find someone, a friend, a family member, a coworker, tell them about Drep and Stone. It really helps us out.
And if a search party gets together to look for Drep and Stone because they're still out in the woods somewhere, hey, participate.
Yeah.
Come find us.
There might
like
be
us.
We'll like you right back because
we'll still have some beer. You can have a drink with us.
Right. We'll give you a sticker. We got some. There's some right there.
Yeah, there are going to be stickers all over these trees.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
May your glass overflow.
Your ass never show. Future Hop cheers.
Cheers.
We are go for lunch. Dark as shit out here.
Hoplandia.
Oh my God, but it's so weird with the nose and the mellicorn.
I'll tell you what.
Step out in the backyard and fall asleep.
Drink New Belgium. Induces narcolepsy. Get some on your stash. Save it for later.
Yep. You roller skate really well.
Okay.
So
thank you. Holla at your boy. Give me a number.
You seen that?
Yeah.
What's your name? Baseball coach, my high school.
Yeah.
Was Coach Bates. We called him Master all the time.
To his face?
Yes, Master. Never to his face.
Okay.
What rolls downstairs, rolls over and pays, rolls over your neighbor's dog. What fits on your back, what's great for a snack? It's log, log, log. It's log, it's log. It's big, it's heavy, it's wood. It's log, it's log. It's better than bad, it's good.